Interview John Lennon and Yoko Ono, London, June 1969.
John, what do you and Yoko hope to achieve together? Because you seem to be concentrating an awful lot of effort these days on LPs together and on your own things together.
Yeah. We hope to achieve peace, really. You know, that's what we're aiming at, and it's a big achievement, and we're just doing our best for it. You know?
Do you feel your week in Amsterdam, lying in bed, has achieved anything? Have you had any encouraging results?
Yeah, there was a lot. First of all, we made people laugh, and that's good. You know, I mean, John and Yoko are like the wind. You can't see it, but when it passes, the trees bend. You know, and that's what we do. And they had a lot of results, apart from us getting a nice film out of it, and probably an album. A lot of people wrote to us and sent word, and people from the States, all around the world. And just instances like some guy wrote and said, now, because of your event in Amsterdam, I'm not joining the RAF, and I'm growing my hair. Now, all we were saying there, symbolically, instead of kicking a shop window in, say, do something like grow your hair for peace. Like even the guy in the factory who's won't cut his hair. He's doing it for peace, whether he knows it or not. You know, he's protesting without, they have no moral or, and no reason can they get him for having long hair, you know, about going in the cake and all that. You know, he can tie his hair up for work, etc., etc. So we say, grow your hair for peace and stay in bed for peace. You know, do something like that that can't be got, can't be smashed.
But do you feel that growing your hair and sort of lying in bed is a positive enough reaction? Don't you think it'd be better if people went out and did something more positive?
That is a positive thing. You tell him.
Very, very positive. I mean, the fact that it stimulated other people to say that, like you said that, you know, this is the result of us doing it. You know, in other words, well, all right, let's do something positive for the peace. You know, okay, so we started that. You see,
so you go out and do it. If we've inspired you to do something positive, we say we've done something positive. You know, you say, well, I can do better than that. Do it. That's the point. Anybody who's got an idea, top us, you know, and we'll keep the game going, and we'll try and top you. But we'll all want
this competition for you. You know, that's what it is. Like saying, well, all right, so they weren't doing so well. Well, we can do better and better and better. You know, it goes better.
A lot of people also feel that if everyone goes to bed and stays in bed for a week or a few days for peace, as a protest for peace, that the whole country will come to a standstill.
Well, wouldn't it be better than producing arms and bombs? Imagine if the American army stayed in bed for a week and the Vietnamese army, or Nixon and Kosygin and Chairman Mao. Imagine it if the whole world stayed in bed. There'd be peace for a week, and they might get to feel what it was like. The tension would be released.
If there was enough trouble and there was obviously going to be a war, and you were asked to fight, John, would you fight?
I wouldn't.
For your country.
I wouldn't attack. No, I'd defend myself probably in the situation. But I wouldn't attack. You know, I'm a pacifist. You know?
What do you want out of life most of all now, John?
Peace. You know, really, that's all I want.
If anything happened to you, how would you like people to remember you?
As the great peaceniks.
That before your music.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
John, if you had your time over again, would you like it to work out like it has today? Would you like to be exactly what you are today? In other words, would you like to be John Lennon's Beatle?
Yes, I don't regret a thing, you know, especially since meeting Yoko. You know, that's made everything worthwhile, and that's the end of it, you know.
What especially attracted you to Yoko?
Well, she's me in drag.
I'm very amazed too, you know. I mean, I'm very amazed to meet somebody like John, who's like a kind of replica of me, and at the same time a little bit extra something, and it's very beautiful. I mean, and the thing was, I was doing things alone, and my main big problem was loneliness, I mean, and a lonely fight really. And now we're together and we're doing it together, so it's easier. And I'm really very thankful. It's really the best luck I had, in my life, so to speak. I think in that sense. Yeah.
John, you seem a lot more relaxed in yourself now. What has happened? What do you put this down to? Because before you were always a little bit frightening.
Yes, yeah. I put it down to Yoko, She's brought out the real me, and I get nervous and tense like anybody else, but I'm more relaxed than I ever was, since I was a child,
So you would say you're going through the happiest period at the moment. You were a few years ago looking for happiness. Do you feel that you found it?
Yes.
Do you feel that what you did previously, going to India and things like that, were of any help?
Yes, that's what I mean. I don't regret anything. Meditation, I still believe in, and occasionally I use it. And I don't regret any of that. I don't regret taking drugs because they help me. I don't advocate them for everybody because I don't think I should, But for me, it was good, and India was good for me. And I met Yoko just before I went to India and had a lot of time to think things out there with 3 months just meditating and thinking. And I came home and fell in love with Yoko, and that was the end of it. And it's beautiful.
And what is your attitude to drugs now since the charge? Do you still take drugs?
I don't possess drugs, I don't really bother with them much at all these days, actually. But if somebody offered me some at a party, I wouldn't. It'd depend how I felt. The same as if they offer me whiskey now. I don't drink either, but depending on the situation, I might take pot, But I would never carry it again. A, because I don't want to go through that. B, because I don't really want it. The stuff was stuff that I'd had previously. I'd already dropped it in India, and I'd taken it occasionally. I take a drink occasionally. That bit.
Is this you're sort of high on just nothing,
Love.
just high. Yes, and love, and air, and you're just being together, and we're so high all the time. So it's no point in taking anything really.
No.
George said that he thought the British were against the Beatles. Do you agree with this, John? Do you feel an anti-attitude towards you at the moment, which you haven't experienced before in your career?
Oh, we've experienced it before. We've always been treated the same. The Beatles are treated like Britain's children, and it's okay for the family to insult us, but you see what happens if abroad starts insulting us. The British will stick up for us, and it's just like a family, and it's all right for them to slap our face, but if the neighbour does it, you watch out, and it's always been like that. And George was very depressed, and it is depressing when the whole family's picking on you, whether it's because you did something wrong. I don't believe in hitting the child, but I think he was depressed, and we do get hurt because Britain appreciates us least, but we can't help that. But at least we can live here in peace, really.
You said you don't believe in hitting a child.
I don't believe in hitting him to correct him. I don't believe in corporal punishment is the answer. I can understand people thinking it's the only way to deal with them, because I understand those people. I don't think they're right, because it doesn't help murderers to hang them or help violent people to be violent to them. It is all they understand, but it doesn't. I don't believe violence begets violence, and you can't kill off all the violent people or all the murderers. You'd have to kill off the government.
Do you take everything you do seriously?
Seriously, with a pinch of salt. I don't take it too seriously, because I think that's the trouble with art quotes, music quotes, the peace movement quotes, and the world quotes. So I take everything with a pinch of salt, but I take life seriously. The serious job of being happy.